Thank you, Margaret. And thank you, Irina and Vera and Charles University and Prague for hosting us. It's really nice to be here. Speak up. Jochen, you guide me. Thank you. My name is Guðný Björk Eydal, and I'm presenting on behalf of me and Margaret. And we have been leading the work group on children with Vice Deputies Þórdís, who is in every other group, and Anna Escobedo from Barcelona. And we are not going to tell you about what we have been doing for the couple of years that we've been working together. We're just going to jump directly into presenting the latest production, because we've been authoring a white paper from a child perspective, and we have, of course, had the whole group participating in one way or the other. But here you see the authors, and it's Margaret and Þórdís who are the first authors. And then we have a gang of people from everywhere. Please read the names so I don't have to tell you, because Margaret is going to be very strict on time here. So thank you all for contributing to the writing of this report. And now we do the same errors as everyone else. And also I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to members of the group that have been reading the last version and advising us. Also to colleagues from other work groups, Anne-Sophie, Sonia, and Peter Moss, for providing their expert reviews. For stakeholders that we met in Ghent and got very good advices from. We might not have been able to follow them all, sorry stakeholders, but we tried. And finally, a special thanks, of course, to Cost for making all this possible. And when we talk about the child perspective, we are talking about how it's framed both by the Convention of the Rights of the Children and the sustainability goals. And we see CRC as providing an important normative framework for our work. So we are looking at children's rights to development, to health, to care, including care from both parents, social security, adequate standard of living. And this all implies that we need to have the responsibility of the state involved. This is nothing that people can do on their own in the private sphere. So the government is really important here. This is a matter of public concern. And parenting leave policies directly, of course, influence the conditions under which children's rights and well-being can be realized in practice. And we also see parenting leave policies, as Johanna also mentioned, as something that can contribute to the achievement of several of the sustainable goals. For example, ending poverty, improving health and well-being, and last but not least, promoting gender equality, that we regard, of course, as very important also for children. The white paper, how we do this, it combines a comparative analysis of paid parental leaves during the child's first year of life with a review of evidence on how parenting leave policies and their design elements affect children's well-being. So we start with a section on children's well-being, and then parental leave policies. Then we proceed with a section on the parental leave policies from a child perspective. And I look at Þórdís now all the time because she has produced most of the material for this section. And then we move on to what does the literature teach us about the impact of parenting leave on children's health, parents' health, children's cognitive, social and educational outcomes, economic protection, family relationship and stability, fathers' parenting leave use and how that affects care, and if solo parenting leave use of fathers impacts child well-being and co-parenting. So we've screened the literature for all this. And what we come up with is recommending a stronger child perspective in future development of parenting leave policies. Parenting leave should not be viewed as a labor market instrument only, or as a mechanism for supporting parents. It should also be understood as an investment in children's development and in future sustainability of societies. And this might sound self-evident, but it's not. That's the strange thing. And the evidence reviewed suggests that the design of parenting leave policies may be as important as the existence of leave entitlements themselves. So it really does matter how you design. And while the literature and all the slow and fast reading and endless discussions in the groups did not point us to an universally optimal model, we could, though, define several recurring patterns that emerge in the literature. And now how many minutes do I have?
Not many.
2. Okay.
Three.
The importance of the duration of paid leave is of obvious importance. It shouldn't be too short, it shouldn't be too long, and you need individual non-transferable entitlements to both parents to cut it short. The level of remuneration is critical because if you think about it, when people have children, the cost goes up, the income goes down, so why should you pay less? And now I'm looking at Anne-Sophie that has actually suggested that we pay more than 100% to parents to cover all the extra cost that comes into play at this point in time. And we should also be very careful with not paying too low benefits to those who are out of labor market, and that speaks directly into what Johanna and Þórdís have produced in their report. Eligibility is also probably reflecting what you've already written, that now we have a system or systems that depend largely on formal employment relationships, much more than the child. So the entitlements are not based on the children's needs, but the labor market needs or what parents have got through their work life, so to speak. And as we say here, children do not choose their parents, nor their labor market position. And we should have all parents with the same entitlements to leave because all children need the same amount of care. And we worry about the Matthew effects in the ongoing systems, probably again in line with what you have been writing about. So to sum up, we call for a shift towards a child perspective, both in policy making and in research. Parenting leave policies alone cannot guarantee child well-being. As Anna has often pointed out, there is no magic bullet. But when they provide sufficient time, adequate income protection, inclusive eligibility, opportunities for both parents to participate in caregiving, they actually can help create healthier, more secure, and more equitable beginnings for the children's lives. A child-centered perspective ultimately implies a simple but very powerful principle: no child should be left behind at the beginning of life. Thank you.